Allies in the workforce. This is Pat Bosco. I spent 50 years as a university administrator. This podcast addresses our interest in being more authentic and making an impact in the lives of those we serve. As we think in terms of authenticity, I think it's important for us to not minimize power, authority, and hierarchy, but understand that authentic leaders expand their sphere of influence, that they create allies, individuals who don't necessarily report to them, not part of their team, but share a common vision. We understand the importance of building coalitions across organizational lines, and that's maintaining an open philosophy of sincerely recognizing those individuals that get it. What do I mean by get it? Well, that was our in-house phrase during my 50 years as a university administrator, of those individuals that politically understand the importance of our vision. Our vision was always putting students first. So we'd look for those individuals that became allies, and they were not necessarily part of our organization. They were members of the faculty, or members of our facilities, or members of divisions outside of student life. That was always important that we were looking for individuals that get it. Now, once you recognize an individual that gets it, you want to make sure that you develop a informal as well as formal relationship that's sincere and meaningful. I remember as a beginning professional that I had the task of addressing student activity fee payments that had to go through the university bureaucracy, the business side of the university. Now that's receipts, restrictions that are approved before someone travels. Well, students and student organizations sometimes don't follow rules and regulations, nor do they understand the responsibility it takes to receive reimbursements. Well, there was an individual, probably 4 or 5 layers within the financial side of the university, that was responsible for accepting receipts, accepting reasons for travel. And I remember calling him with very complex problems that students and student organizations have created. And he always took my phone call, patiently went through how best we could obtain reimbursements for students that had approved travel but never followed the regulations. And eventually, he became a partner with a lot of our student organizations to help educate them on the rules and regulations of making things happen. He became an ally in a very meaningful way. I think in terms of allies that are not necessarily friends. They're not necessarily acquaintances. My dad would often say that he had a lot of acquaintances but few friends. My 7-year-old granddaughter talks about a crush versus loving someone. And I don't know where she got all that, but she'll explain to me the difference between crush and love. Well, I think an ally is someone who shares your vision, would like to move the organization forward, but is not part of your direct reports, someone that can be of help to one another. Now, what are some things we need to do? Well, we need to make sure that we're constantly looking for those individuals, that we're seeking them out, that we look for informal ways to engage them within our organization. It might be on a committee, or it might be on a task force, or sharing a document with them that's in draft form that gives them a chance to respond to something in a meaningful way. That when they call, you want to make sure you deliver. If they've got a favor or something that you can do for them, I think it's a two-way street. And we want to be there for those that are allies for us. That we look for ways to invite them to gatherings. I have to admit that we had 3 or 4 large social gatherings in our home and in the community, that the invitation list included not only those that may have been part of our organizational chart, but the allies. And that gave our allies a chance to engage with our staff, a chance to go across organizational lines, not violating their managers or their leadership, but giving a chance to network. And that was critically important of building an organization that recognized that we have to expand our sphere of influence as we think about moving an organization forward. That allies can be critically important to our ability to make things happen. Give them credit. Make sure that you may be part of their growth and development, that they are in a business of being able to help educate those that they're working with in terms of your vision, that they can be critically important in the social political network of any organization. I certainly don't want to minimize power and authority in a hierarchy, but I think it's important that authentic leaders look to build their sphere of influences with allies.